Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Showalter and this is the TSB Community. It's episode 3 with everything you need to know for the upcoming games in the NFL and college football. If you love football, be sure to stick around and hit that subscribe button. All right, let's dive right in. We were spoiled last week with some really good matchups, but this week we still have some great games ahead with major conference implications that will certainly impact the playoffs at the end of the season. Game number 1, we have Vandy at Alabama. This is a big rematch from last year. You might remember that Vandy shocked the world and beat Alabama on their home field last season. Pavia is the man, and I think he shows up big in this game. He just comes across like the type of guy that's going to show up in the biggest moments. It's pretty crazy that ESPN gives Alabama a 74.3% chance of winning this game. That being said, Vanderbilt, I think Alabama is going to bring their A game. I think Alabama wins, but I do think Vandy covers the 10.5 points. Game number 2, we have number 3 Miami going to Tallahassee to play number 18 Florida State. We're going to learn a lot about both of these teams. Is Florida State resilient enough to bounce back from that brutal loss to Virginia? And is Miami really who we think they might be? This game is going to go a long way in deciding who the true contenders are in the ACC. 6.5 points from Vegas feels like a big number considering how good Florida State has played. That being said, I do think Miami wins this game, but Florida State covers. I think Florida State pulls off the big upset and wins at home this weekend. If you're looking for props in this game, Tommy Castellanos is plus 105 to score a touchdown and plus 600 to score 2 touchdowns. I think he gets a couple rushing touchdowns. Game number 3, this one is interesting. We have Mississippi State going in to Kyle Field to play Texas A&M this weekend. Who will rise to the top in the SEC? There's a lot of teams trying to prove that they are the top dog. Texas A&M is ranked number 6 in the country. I think they're a good team, but this is the type of game that if you are a true playoff contender, you're going to win. We're going to find out what Marcel Reed and the boys are truly made of this weekend. ESPN gives Texas A&M a 78% chance of winning and 14.5 points on the spread. Feels a little high for me. This Mississippi State team beat Arizona State and played a really good Tennessee team well. I do think Texas A&M wins, but I think it's closer than 14.5. All right, and game number 4 in the NCAA. We have Virginia going into Louisville this weekend. I expect a lot of points in this game with a whopping 62.5 over under. Louisville is getting 6.5 points from Vegas, and I do think they come out with the win. However, I do think they come out with the win, but I'm really excited to see this Miller Moss versus Chandler Morris matchup. I expect a lot of points to be scored, and it probably will come down to the wire yet again. Not quite as loaded of a slate as last week, but I'm really excited to watch these games and think we will get some amazing finishes. Can't believe college football is almost halfway over. Again, if you love football, fantasy football, NFL, hit that subscribe button, support the channel. We appreciate that so much. All right, let's move over to the NFL. This is a big one. Thursday night football. San Francisco 49ers going into LA to try and prove who is the top dog in the NFC West. Rams have a 57.9% chance of winning this game according to ESPN. The Rams are an interesting team. They were super kind of unlucky in Philadelphia, super lucky against the Colts to pull out that win. I would say, honestly, the Colts lost that game more than the Rams won that game. But overall, this is still a good Rams team, a young, hungry defense, and you can't really bet against Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams. The 49ers, on the other hand, other than injuries, they just look like a good football team. Ricky Pearsall has exceeded expectations this year and looks like the number 1 wide receiver in San Francisco. CMC is healthy, and bottom line is, when CMC is healthy, the 49ers rarely lose. I think they win this game in Los Angeles. All right, game 2. We got Broncos traveling across country on a short week against the Philadelphia Eagles. This one is near and dear to my heart. This one's going to be a slugfest. 2 elite defenses, efficient offenses. I expect this to be honestly pretty similar to the Eagles versus Chiefs game. A low-scoring affair. Maybe it opens up a little bit late. I do think the Eagles come away with the win and remain undefeated. My real question is, can Denver score enough points to hang around with Philly? I think the offense for the Eagles will be a lot better at home than it has been on the road the last couple weeks. Vegas has lowered the spread down to 3.5 from 5.5, which I thought was interesting. Again, this is going to be a defensive battle. I think the team that has less turnovers comes away with the win. Again, Again, at home, I think the Eagles win and cover the 3.5 points. All right, game 3. We have the Buccaneers traveling across country to the Seattle Seahawks. Spoiler, I will be in attendance for this game, and also I cannot wait for this uniform matchup. We have throwbacks for the Seahawks versus throwbacks for the Buccaneers. It is going to be incredible. Bucs are coming off a tough loss to Philly. Seattle has a 53.3% chance of winning this game at home. We know that the 12s, that home field advantage is going to be something for Seattle. Because Tampa Bay has a really tough upcoming schedule, I think this is pretty close to a must-win for them. Again, they want to keep pace in their division, and they're still in contention for a number 1 seed in the NFC, which I think would be an inside track to a Super Bowl appearance for this team. They could still do it as a wild card, as just winning their division. But again, if they could somehow get that number 1 seed, it would go a long way. So these early week games they got to pull out some big wins here. Bucky Irvin is a question mark in this game, whether he will play or not. That being said, I think there's enough firepower in Tampa to win this game even without him. Sam Darnold and the Seattle rushing attack has looked very good so far this year. Baker, hit those checkdowns. Take the easy throws. On the road, you have to stay ahead of the sticks. I think the Buccaneers go into Seattle and walk out with a win. All right, game 4. We got Chiefs at Jaguars, Monday Night Football. Honestly, this has a chance to be one of the sneaky best games of the week. Both teams are trending in the right directions. The Chiefs bounced back with a huge win. Honestly, the offense looked like the Chiefs of old. Kansas City is favored by 3.5 points on the road. My question is, are the Chiefs all the way back? After this week, they will not be trading for Tyreek Hill, but I do think there's enough talent on that offense to score points with anybody, and we all know how good this Chiefs defense is. We're going to find out how legit these Jaguars really are. They're not that far removed from a 10-1 start in 2023. Liam Cohen seems like he could scheme up a rushing attack for you or I listening to this video. I will say if the Jags can keep running the ball, they can definitely make some noise this year. ETN and Tutton have looked really good so far this season. Jaguars have a talented roster, but again, I think the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. They go into Duval and they get the win. If you want more preview videos like this one to get you prepared for the weekend slate of games, hit that subscribe button for weekly updates on the top games in both college and NFL. Can't wait for football this weekend. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next week.